my name is Alicia and welcome to my channel, Quilts on Tour. Today I want to show you 8 things you need to get started quilting. But before we do that, let me tell you a little bit about myself. I have been creating and crafting pretty much all my life. I like crochet, cross stitch, paper crafting, card making, anything that stimulates the creative juices I love to do. Usually after work I come up here in my little room and either work on sewing or make a card for somebody. It just helps me decompress and de-stress. It makes me not so crazy around everybody else. So one of the other things that we're going to do with our YouTube channel, Quilts on Tour, is we are visiting different quilt stores around the country. We're starting with local for now, and hopefully in the next year we'll get super big and be able to just travel all around the country and visit quilt stores to show you different places to go visit. If you own a quilt store or know somebody that does, or one that's local to you, leave it in the comments below if you want us to come visit you and showcase your quilt store. I would love to come and do that. While we're at your quilt store, we will show all the fabrics that you have, show the quilts that you have on display, let you talk about your store and your passion and your favorite quilting notions and your quilting blocks. It should be a ton of fun. So let me know if you're interested. Just leave a comment below. All right, let's get started. So to start off with, you need a sewing machine. You don't need one of those fancy ones that cost thousands of dollars to start quilting. I just use this Singer Heavy Duty 4423. This is a little workhorse. You can pretty much do anything on this thing. I have quilted 2 quilts on here. Wasn't the easiest, but you can do it. And I recently found out that you can drop the feed dogs and do free motion quilting, which I can't believe. I've had this machine for almost 3 years and I just found that out last week. I can't believe it. I've been wanting to do free motion quilting for a while, so now I can, and I'll be doing some practicing, and then I'll also put up a video on how to do it once I kind of know what I'm doing, so it should be a lot of fun. So since it's attached to the sewing machine, I count it as also number 1. Might be stretching it a little bit there too, but you need good thread. This is Aurifil. I got this from my local quilt store. It's 100% cotton. This one is kind of like an off-white color. It's just great. It's strong. It doesn't break. It's just, you know, and it's not super expensive. I think it was $7 or $8 for this spool, I've used about half of it so far, so it'll last you a long time. So obviously the next thing you need is your fabric. I wouldn't suggest going the super cheap route right away. You'll get frustrated. Super cheap fabric is cheap for a reason. Your quilts just won't lay right. They won't fit together right. They're not soft. Stay away from the super cheap fabric. The only reason I would say to get super cheap fabric is if you want to practice. I have some scraps here of fabric that I don't really like that I'll probably use to practice my free motion quilting for, just so I don't ruin my beautiful fabric and expensive fabric. But if you're going to make a quilt for a gift or that you want to keep as a family heirloom, definitely splurge and get the nice fabric. Joann's has a brand called Keepsake Calico. It's not super expensive, especially when they put it on sale. But that would be the only brand that I get from Joann's. All the others are not higher quality. So I would strongly suggest going to a local quilt store and getting the fabric from there. The quality is just so much better. The next thing that you need is a cutting mat. So this one here is 24 by 18. It's not the largest that you can get, but it is definitely the largest that you need to start off with. It's long enough to cut the width of fabric. This piece of fabric is, so this is your width of fabric here. So it's definitely long enough to fit on here, and you're able to square it up and cut your straight lines. I would recommend getting these from Joann's or Michael's either when they go on sale or when you have a coupon. I think the regular price of these is about $40, but if you use your 50% off coupon or when they're on sale for 50% off, it makes it a lot cheaper. The other thing that you need to start off with is a ruler. This one again is Fisker's brand. You don't need to get Fisker's brand. It was just what I got at Joann's. I can't even remember where I got this one from. But again, it's 24 by 6.5. It fits the width of the fabric, so you can get that nice straight line the whole way up your fabric. If you got the shorter ruler, it's just easy. You know, you have the tendency to get a little off if you have to move it. So I would definitely recommend getting the larger ruler to make it easier for you to cut your fabric. And to cut your fabric, I recommend a Rotary Cutter. Again, this brand is Fisker's. Fisker's is just what I think the store had on sale. I don't necessarily, you know, that's not really my favorite brand. It's just what I have. You can get, I've seen at Joann's this set where the Rotary Cutter, the mat, and the ruler together as a set. I think it's cheaper to get it that way, especially if you have a coupon or it's on sale. The price is just a little bit less to bundle it together. So this one is pretty nice. You just pull that down to release the blade and you cut right along. Nothing fancy. You can get fancier ones, but you don't need fancy ones to start off with. The other thing you need are pins. These are super cute little pins that I got at Missouri Star Quilt Company. They're just little flowers and little hearts and little bees. Definitely do not need to get these little cute ones. They were on clearance and that's why I picked them up. But you can use any pins. Actually, the longer the pin, the better, just because of the different layers that you have to go through, and holding it together longer, it's just easier. But you can get these Walmart, I think even the dollar store carries pins. They definitely don't need to be the little cutesy one. The other thing that you need is these basting pins. And these are different from regular safety pins because the arm is curved a little bit. I don't know if you can see that. It makes it easier to go through your 3 layers, your backing, your batting, and your quilt top. It just rocks it a lot easier to come up to the top to be able to close. These I would definitely invest in. I think these were maybe $7 or $8 at Joann's, but again, use a coupon, wait till they have their Quilting Notions on sale, and it just saves you a little bit of money that way. So last but not least, and again I kind of cheated and combined it into one, is your iron and your ironing board. I just have this Black & Decker iron. You don't need a fancy iron to start off with. Just a regular steam iron works great. I just made this a couple weeks ago, but you can definitely just use a regular ironing board. I was using an ironing board until I made this. I got it off of the Facebook Marketplace. It's just like a kitchen island, and I layered Insulbright, which is like batting that you would use in hot pads just to protect the wood underneath. You don't even have to necessarily put Insulbright down if you're not planning to ever reuse this for anything else. But I just put a layer of Insulbright, and then I had some extra batting that I put on top of that to make it a little softer. And then I cut a cotton sheet and stapled that all down. I love it because it's a little sturdier than an ironing board, but again, this is not necessary. An ironing board and a regular iron will suit you just fine. And that's all you need to get started. So go on out there. I think probably, you know, most people already have an ironing board and an iron. So between your sewing machine and your material and rulers and, you know, maybe $200-300 will get you started at the most. You can find all kinds of free patterns on Pinterest. I love Pinterest to get some ideas. There's a ton of Facebook groups for just beginning sewers or quilters, hand quilting, all kinds of different places to go find information. I'll link some of those Facebook groups below. to try to help you out. You can always message me or leave a comment if you have any questions about your quilting and how to get started. Quilting is intimidating. At least it was for me until I got started and I saw how it didn't need to be perfect. Some people are so concentrating so much on making sure that everything is lined up perfect and your points have to be together perfect, and if not, it just ruins the whole thing. But it really doesn't. There are some blocks that have to be perfect, but for the most part, especially when you're beginning, they don't have to be, and that's what makes them yours, and that's what makes them special. I really don't like quilts that look like they came from a store. I loved quilts that are handmade and they look handmade and they have character. So just go for it. Go start your own quilt. Make sure to send me some of those pictures. I'd love to see your first quilts. Thanks for joining me. Don't forget to subscribe. I do have a little contest going. Once we reach 200 subscribers, we have a prize to give away, but that won't be revealed until we reach 100 subscribers. So make sure you subscribe and share and get your friends to subscribe. That way you can be entered for the prize. It's a good one. We also have a website. It's called quiltsontour.com. Make sure you go check it out. It'll have a little bit more info about me, about our YouTube videos. It'll have pictures of when we go to the quilt stores. Just a lot more information there. So thanks for joining me, and can't wait to talk to you soon.